Dude, this countdown. I'm just watching. Like, this is insane.
It's so bad. I just
Wait, you just finished the. Oh my!
picked anyone.
What
Dude,
just
for fucking
happened?
YouTube. Sorry about that.
That is
Sorry about
not
that.
not what I meant. Hey, everybody! We're back again with the Ready Check Full podcast. Me and Jim are here. What's up, Jim?
Hey, what's up?
We
I
got
wanted
our. Okay, you go.
I just wanted to mention real quick, before we introduce our super awesome big old guest, that again, I'm Jim Fro. It's the weekly podcast. We do this on Twitch live, YouTube live every Friday. We post it everywhere after that on Saturday. So if you missed the episode, go check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other of those podcast platforms. All right, go ahead.
Oh, true. Yeah. We do this all over the place. So let's go around podcast number 4, I think, right? Yeah, number 4. We got our guest. His name is Recruitie. He's a big Boomkin boy, as I like to say, even though that doesn't make sense. He's from the guild Fused, so he's a top US
He's a real
mythic
big
raider.
boy.
Yeah. Boomkin main. He's the man. He's the guy that plays Incarn when you're not supposed to, and he makes it work somehow.
Whoa.
And he pumps, dude. And I used to raid with him, and here he is, dude. Here to talk about WoW and all kinds of stuff. What's up, Recruitie?
You gotta stop sucking me off, man.
We were excited to have you on, bro. That's all it is. We're excited because, dude, I'm kind of thinking that Boomkin might be one of the next videos I make. One of these little spec reviews. I kind of want to get your thoughts on it, dude.
So you're using me. I got it.
Yeah. I totally didn't just think of that right now, but but yeah, 'cause some crazy Boomkin stuff's kind of happening, and I don't know. It seems like you liked Boomkin how it was, and now we got these changes that are going back to like kind of an old version with eclipses and stuff like that. If anybody's familiar with that, so I was gonna kind of get your thoughts on that. But dude, I've been having a blast with it, bro. Starfall is back. You seen that?
Yeah, I don't have alpha access still, so for me, I've been trying to not delve too deeply into the changes, just because they could literally change by the time I actually play it.
Yeah.
And the legendaries should change the class significantly, I would think. So I don't really have an opinion on like how it plays yet. But it looks, everybody so far who's played it said they like it. So it must be fun.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been hearing. And just like I've only played Boomkin a little bit in Legion and BFA, but like I kind of feel like I get it pretty well. But yeah, and like dude, like the traits and the legendaries had such a massive effect from what it was from the baseline. It seems like that it's hard to even know where to start with a baseline Boomkin. But yeah, dude, I feel like the biggest thing, that I feel like might not really even change with that kind of stuff and tuning or anything is, dude, Starfall. That's what I feel like. Boomkins want Starfall to matter. They wanted it for the longest time. I think it mattered a little bit more in Legion, but in BFA it just died, just didn't exist. And now, dude, it's back. I'm telling you, Starfall is back.
I mean, I was watching Sang Helios play just yesterday on Alpha, doing dungeons and stuff, and the problem I had with it was that he was actually sitting almost max astro power because he didn't want to refresh Starfall too early, and that seems kind of clunky to me. That's the only gripe I have with it.
Yeah, the fact that it's a buff.
Yeah, and the current one you can spam it, like on live right now. You can just hit it as many times as you can.
Yeah,
and that feels a lot less clunky than having to just hold on to astro power.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that too. Just like messing around doing dungeons and whatever. Like I'd say like 90% of the time, it's like a good flow of like being able to keep it up like almost all the time whenever you want it. But like you're not putting out any star surges. You're hard committing to Starfall, and it does a crazy amount of damage, so it feels good and extends your dots and all that good stuff. But yeah, every once in a while you get some cooldowns going, or you get like, I don't know, you carry some astral power over into another pack.
40-yard range though is a little crazy. Like the fact that it's a buff on you is a little crazy. Like you had to walk outside of the area to test on the dummies.
Yeah, I had
Like
to
you have to line of
sight.
sight the other dummies. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
Seems a little weird.
It's really like it actually feels really good, and the fact that somehow Blizzard really isn't usually good at this kind of thing, but it actually doesn't hit things that you don't want it to hit, and it's like so far it's been spot on with like not pulling random things.
Yeah, we did a dungeon. Yeah, and you were saying that.
Yeah, like somehow it just knows, and hopefully it stays like that. Because just having a massive AOE that hits everything always, like, that's not bad, dude. Because it's like I think Boomkin still have like an extended range too, so it's not even 40 yards. It's like almost 50. It's like Jesus.
Yeah. Speaking of the whole affinity, bullshit. Like, have you seen Recruitie? Have you seen any of like how they're changing and making Heart of the Wild, and they're making one of the Covenant abilities, like some of the craziness that's happening with just rando spells just procking up?
Yeah, I looked into all the basic stuff when Alpha first launched, all the basic changes. I just haven't kept up with like the covenants and all that because it could change at any moment.
Yeah, it's a mess.
What do you think about Heart of the Wild? Because when I was on Guardian, like I just felt super out of place. Such a long cooldown, and like if you're feral or something, like I was Guardian at the time, but if you're feral, like you're like, why would you want to switch to like Boomkin for like a couple, like I don't know, maybe there's a random like situation where you want to like run away and still be able to hit things, I guess, or something, but I don't understand that. Maybe something with healing where you could like be a tank and then now you're an off healer, but it's like a 5-minute cooldown, so it's not, it just seems like a stupid talent to me. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it.
Well, I think their initial intention of it is just to add like the hybridness to the DPS can go tank for a little bit, or they can heal for a little bit. Then the healers and tanks can DPS for a little bit if they want to. But
which would be awesome if you could do it more reliably. Reliably.
5 minutes,
like 5
is a
minutes.
long duration.
Yeah.
But I already have a meme strategy in my mind because that's just the kind of person I am. Where, like, I was thinking you might be able to go feral as Boomkin and apply all your dots, or maybe even just for the full Heart of the Wild duration, right after or before your Incarn, or after, or whatever. You just go DPS the whole time, and you pretty much have 2 cooldowns as a DPS Boomkin. And maybe even in an AoE scenario, you cast Starfall, then go cat form and spam swipe, and then go back, cast another Starfall, spam swipe, keep a Sunfire up too, and maybe it'll enhance the AoE rotation, at least for a burst CD or something.
Yeah, I could see that getting a little wild. At least it's something you can like get creative with. It's not like a stale talent.
Yeah. My only real complaint is that it's a long cooldown. That's like my only real complaint is like it seems so weird that's like once every encounter you can be the other affinity.
Right.
Like that just seems very.
It can get out of hand really easily though, so they gotta kind of balance it somehow. Maybe the 5 minutes too bad, but
is it like similar to how it was in the past? Like I don't really remember how it worked in the past.
I don't ever remember it being like that. It was never that.
No? Huh.
I honestly don't remember how it was, but I think it was just like a 3-minute cooldown that enhanced your healing or something. I don't remember. And you like pop it and then pop Trank, and then it would heal for a lot because it buffed the healing.
That does kind of sound familiar. Because people are like excited to see it. Like they see the name, they're like, oh, I remember that. That shit was dope. It's back. And then it's like only kind of back. So that might be kind of cool though.
And what about that crazy rando spell Covenant ability that's just 16 spells just poop right out of you?
Okay, that's not. Is that the tooltip description?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just spam 16 Wraths and Moonfires. That could be pretty.
It's a cool idea. I'd like it to have Star Surge in there so that you could at least like extend your eclipses or something to make it meaningful. Like spamming those other spells is kind of whatever.
Yeah. The eclipse thing, that's an old. When was the last time that actually happened? Was that in like WoD?
Shoot, man, I don't know. They've changed Boomkin every expansion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all a bit clear, man.
Yeah. Because I think
it's an old.
What keeps you playing it?
Well, I don't know. I enjoy the shape shifting aspect to druids. That's kind of why I stay with druid. There's something about shape shifting that I just really enjoy, and I wish it was in more games.
Oh yeah, I think like watching you guys do Mythic N'Zoth. I think that's the only like Boomkin point of view I've seen. I think you literally used every form in the fight at some point.
Yeah, I don't really compare form a lot, but I definitely should sometimes.
Yeah, it's like it's actually like worth doing. So it's like it's not just like a meme thing that you have as a druid for like flavor. It's like no, legit in a hard mythic fight, you might actually find use. You could use travel form in that fight, and it was good. It's like that's wild. It's kind of.
I remember looking up Recruitie a little while back, and there was a few progress encounters where maybe you should have went, the Guardian Affinity when you took Pharaoh Affinity. I don't know what you were thinking there. Maybe can you explain yourself?
Okay, dude.
Hey, that's
First
rude,
of all, this is for ranking purposes. It wasn't for prog. In prog, I always used Resto or Guardian Affinity, but for ranking, I prefer the mobility if it fits, because getting from point A to point B faster is a DPS increase. There's a lot of times when you have higher haste levels that your global is very short. So you have to be able to move from one spot to another before the global ends. Otherwise you lose DPS every time.
True.
That
was one of the things that, like, watching you prog doing random whatever you were doing, I would just relentlessly troll you about. I think that probably got a little annoying, huh?
Well, definitely, because I know it's better.
Yeah. But it just looks a little suspect. And then like any time you died, it didn't matter why you died. I'm like, hey, you could have had Swiftman, dude. Imagine if you had Swiftman, you could have lived.
It's dude, solely ranking. for ranking purposes. It's not just padding.
Yep.
Yeah, I love backseat raiding, strats.
Yeah, I love doing it. It's great. Dude, you had some wild strategies going on. Like BFA, dude, it's as far as I can remember, I don't remember there being so much RNG, but even with like Boomkin especially, it seems like, I don't know about how it is with corruption, but Boomkin is like RNG city, dude, like with the vision procs and all that, and oh god, what else even, like, got the vision procs that matter so much.
Well, you want to know the crazy thing? The reason I choose Incarn is because it is the RNG spec, and like you get a random crazy pull, and everyone always says, well, you could just do that with CA too, but it's less likely to get like an 80% uptime pull, and I haven't actually seen a single person since Vision existed with like 80% uptime with CA until like just last week. There's a guy on Raw Den, he did like 140 something K as Boomkin, and the rank 2 is like 130 something. He annihilated everybody, and he had 80% uptime on CA. It's the first time I've seen it in so long of Vision being there.
And that was probably like a 2-minute fight. It was like the shortest fight, I imagine.
I think it was about 3, yeah.
Yeah. So he just got lucky. Had like Star-Lord or whatever.
Someone actually got lucky with Visions in CA, and it went just crazy. And it's like, yeah, I could do that, but 1 in a million, or maybe I see it 3 times in a million.
Right. I've actually with them data mining stuff, and like we're getting like hints at what legendaries could be and like where they're coming from and like their relative power, how impactful they're going to be. That I've seen some that are like for warrior, I think it was like, whenever you do this, you have a chance to proc your cooldown. And then mage, the same thing. Whenever you do this, you have a chance to proc your cooldown. They might be bringing something like that back, dude. For there might be a vision again, dude.
Well, no, I think it would be similar to like Arcanic Pulsar. I think that's what they'd want to fill, that hole, because Arcanic Pulsar is pretty substantial, their damage. And it just is after 9 star surges, you proc CA or Incarn, which is similar to the legendary effect you're talking about.
Yeah, it's more, and it's like more controlled. That makes sense. I wonder.
So I could see something like that coming back. but I don't think they're coming. I mean, I'd love to see Vision, but I think it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And like, what was another like staple thing? Oh, Streaking Stars. I'm not sure how they could bring that back, but that seemed like such an integral part of Boomkin and BFA that people actually liked, like the alternating abilities type stuff. Like, you want that to come back?
Yeah, but it doesn't really fit in the Eclipse rotation.
Yeah, because it's
like,
so spammy.
CPs, sure. But if they introduce like Arcanic Pulse or something, I guess maybe it would work. Maybe it would be fine. But it would just be awkward because the whole Eclipse system is spamming one ability for X amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would only make sense if...
Wait, Boomkin is uncapped AoE, right?
I don't know, actually, if Starfall...
It doesn't say it on the tooltip.
The only thing that's capped for us is Fury of Elune, I believe. They capped that, or they do less damage.
That could be a little wild.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it would make sense for it to be uncapped because you can't like stack it. It's just a buff. You know, you're not like spamming 6 Starfalls on top of each other. It's just maintaining a dot, kind of. So that would make sense to be uncapped.
Well, it's early. Like, if for some reason they want to do a big AoE fight, they'll probably nerf Starfall, honestly.
Oh, yeah. It is.
They can make it do less damage after 5 targets or something. Like, it's...
Yeah. Well, there's also no burst AoE at all. So there's like literally no way for them to just like shit out a bunch of AoE in half a second and kill everything, right? It's not like Blade Storm or Fell Barrage or something like that. So
yeah, Fury of Elune would be the comparison there because it is a burst cooldown. It's a minute CD. I think it lasts 8 seconds and it's just AoE damage. But then they made that have a, like I said, a damage drop off.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Like, just messing around looking at logs. Like, I know nothing's like tuned and everything's gonna change and all that good stuff, but Starfall is like almost worth using in single target. Like, that's how much damage it does. And the fact that if you have Stellar Drift or whatever, it lets you move around, cast for free inside of it. It's actually like really insane. I think they might be, swinging the pendulum back a little too far. Like, it's actually a pretty crazy amount of damage that it does.
Did they release the Druid legendaries yet on Alpha? I think no.
No, they're like slowly trickling out.
There's like a rando guesses right now, but there's no.
Yeah, I saw
there's no vendor.
First wave that they released with like mages, I think Warlock and some priest or something. And then I stopped looking because I was like, okay, I'll just wait till Boomkin comes. But
yeah. All right. Can we talk about what? Go ahead. Sorry.
They could bring back Onus, which is when you cast Star Surge, it has a chance to proc Starfall and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty interesting.
The legendary from Legion.
Yeah, people like that a lot. I remember that.
All right, yeah. So let's talk about what's been fucking ruffling my feathers with Druids. Is if you look in Legion, what Druids were they bringing to any raid? Moonkin, nothing else, right? Like, they might bring like Guardian if it was the only one, or if Pharaoh's been in your guild forever, they might bring that, right? But like, they're not bringing Resto, they're not bringing Pharaoh, they're not bringing Guardian because whatever. Why did they give Resto and Moonkin Stampeding Roar? That makes no fucking sense. There's absolutely no reason to give Moonkin more to bring.
Man,
and that bothers me.
I don't have enough space on my bars for Stampeding Roar.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go get a fucking foot pedal.
Yeah. So you're saying you want to see more? So like Resto and Boomkin seem to be favored based on like utility and all that.
Yeah.
Just general viability. You want to see more
too.
Oh, dude, that's right. So you want to see more Feral Druid, Guardian Druid, but the stuff that they add to Feral and Guardian, the other specs also get. So they're just getting even
so dumb
further ahead.
It really feels like a scenario where they kind of just gave up on the other specs, and they're like, okay, there's no Stampeding Roars in the raid, so let's just at least bring it to the raid by giving it to Boomkin and the good spec.
Dang, that's weird. Yeah, what could they really even do for like the other Druid specs to make them special?
Give Feral an immunity.
Oh no.
I don't even know if Feral needs an immunity, bro.
No.
Like, let's be real, like, because Survival Instincts is fucking awesome, and so is Barkskin, and they have both of those, right? Like, those are good. So, like, I don't think they need an immunity, but like, they just need to like capitalize on their strengths a little bit more. Like, make it a little bit easier to do their little AOE bleeds, right? Make it so that instead of taking away the extra range they got because they started like chopping it down, give them a little bit more so they're out of the way of certain things, and then make them a little bit fast. Like, all they have to do is tweak it to like their strengths a little bit more than trying to like give them something else. Also, they should give them fucking Shroud. Like, that's for sure.
The big problem with that is Feral is good. Like, the damage it deals is good, the utility it brings is good, but why would you bring it over a Demon Hunter? Why would you bring it over a Rogue? Like,
Right.
you only have so many melee slots in a raid.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Usually those melee slots have immunities, and usually they do a lot of mechanics with those immunities, and the Feral doesn't have that. Like, they do decent damage, but they don't have anything to fill a Demon Hunter's role or a Rogue's role.
Yep. It's like, why if you ever saw
Is there anything outside of an immunity that they could bring?
I mean, they could just buff their damage until it's broken. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, like Stampede, you'd think Stampeding Roar would be one of those things where it's like,
just bring a bear.
Yeah, and then you're just stuck with bear. So like, I don't know. I guess that's why like class buffs and stuff exist for other things. But then how do you have like a Feral Druid only buff and not a Druid buff? It's like,
well, it's a similar thing to Windwalker, right? It's like you give Windwalker this class buff, and then you're just like, okay, we'll just bring a Brewmaster. Because why would we bring a Windwalker? We're just crutching yourself.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And then Windwalker's like, in the same thing. They don't have the immunity to depend on. They don't have like just the crazy survivability type stuff. Rogue can do everything. I hate rogues.
And this is true for every spec that isn't Boomkin, by the way. Like, Guardian is good. They're a good tank. They do good damage. They hold good aggro. But usually they take more damage than the other tanks. So they aren't brought. Right?
Yeah.
Resto Druid does good healing. It's actually a pretty good spread AoE healer. But the big problem with Resto Druid, it doesn't have a DR that hits the whole raid. That's why Pallies and Priests are brought to everything, and Shamans. Every other healer has this thing that Resto doesn't have. Every other melee that's good has this thing that Feral doesn't have.
Yep.
Every other tank has this thing that Bear doesn't have. Boomkin is just a range, so why not?
But check this though. Like, if you're naming a bunch of things or a bunch of mechanics or abilities that are reasons why people get brought, right? So there are no DPS that has an AoE DR, right? There's like give fucking monks their Ring of Peace. If you're in the Ring of Peace, it acts like a goddamn link, right?
Oh god.
And they would bring shit like that. Then they would be brought.
Death Knights,
that's what
dude.
They're trying to do with DKs, yeah.
Yeah. They just got AMZ.
So that's what I'm saying.
I guess technically Warrior has that. Like, extra health is comparable to a DR.
Yeah, like if Feral Druid like gave everyone Survival Instincts when they used it, like like a 5-minute cooldown, and it's only Feral Druid that has it, they'll get brought.
Survival Instincts, my lord.
And then you just have
that'd be insane.
You have a raid full of 16 Feral Druids, and then you have the opposite.
Well, you get what I'm saying though. Like, there's clearly things that they could do that are abilities that everyone likes, like Link and things like that, or just certain different DRs and whatever the fuck the ability is. Like, they can spread those out for the classes that don't have the other things like immunities or whatever, like Monk, Feral Druid, whatever.
Mm.
Like they could give an AoE grip to Monk. They could give an AoE grip to Feral. Like, if they wanted to. I mean, it'd have to make sense however they do it, but just like AoE grips are needed on some fights. You just can't do the fight without it. And then there's certain things as well, like the lock gate. They could give something like that to Monk or something. Just seems like there's options. Down. But it's true. Like, it seems like there's options, and it's like you got dead classes, but then you have Warlock, who literally has everything. The only thing Zax ever complains about with Warlock is that it doesn't have an interrupt, which it does. He just has to sacrifice damage.
Yeah.
Like,
I could actually. Yeah. I could actually have that too, now I think about it. Do you have any other, if Boomkin goes bust somehow, which I think it's probably gonna be good. But do you have any other classes or specs that you are leaning towards? Like, if you're actually allowed to play alts this expansion.
Well, right now I'm having a lot of fun with Glacial Spike Mage, but
Yeah.
that's not something you could really main. And next expansion, when I was looking through the legendaries, because it was the first wave, every legendary had the words Ice Lance in it, which is just like, what the hell? I am not playing an Ice Lance build, so Frost Mage is out of the question.
Gotcha.
And like I said, I haven't looked too much into other classes. I just kind of briefly looked over Boomkin, and I was like, okay, I understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see when I get alpha. I'll try out some classes, but yeah, at the moment I don't have anything as a backup. It was Frost Mage, and then I saw Iceland City, and I was like, hell no.
Yeah, because I think I'm trying to remember back to my fused time. You were doing the Destro Warlock. I mean Warlock in general, but like Destro, I think you were liking a lot. In Uldir and BoD.
Yeah, I've just played Destro for so long now as an alt. It's I got over it.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed in a long time. It's like the exact same thing.
It's been the same spec for the entire expansion and longer.
Yeah. Yep. Because dude,
I was gonna say on the expansion, like, how do you guys feel BFA went overall?
I enjoyed it.
Me and Recruitie have talked about this
from your class, from like the raids, essences, fucking benthic, like all the shit. How do you think it went?
Yeah,
that's my assessment.
I really liked the power increase that we got over time, and it didn't feel as grindy as other expansions. It was still grindy, but it was a lot less important, and it was a lot less grind. So I kind of enjoyed it. The world questing to get rep so that you could get blood, whatever the neck essence, reaping flames, to get that was really toxic.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise,
the world quest being relevant past the first tier, I think is the dumbest shit ever. Like we literally bang our heads into the goddamn floor doing these world quests every single day, all day, and then the next day world quest every day, all day, and then you finally get done, and then they release a 0.5 or something like that, and now you got to do every single world quest every day. It's like, fuck, that shit is just that becomes a goddamn mess. And then when you're done doing the world quest, go into those islands, get yourself some islands. So I wasn't too much of a fan of, like, when you say it's not as grindy, maybe not. Maybe there was I don't remember Legion being worse, because at least doing dungeons is better than world quest. But man, it felt fucking grindy.
I really disliked the Maw Soul spamming. Like that's something
you like that more, or dislike that
less.
more than? Yeah, wow.
Like I'm more of a solo person usually. I don't like being forced into doing like a 5-man dungeon over and over and over again with for the people. You start to get annoyed with people. It starts to become inefficient. People are like going on breaks all the time. It just to me, I just really like the solo content, being able to just grind it myself, do everything. And the world questing, it took me like an hour a day on my main to just go around, do everything, which wasn't too bad. It really felt like I was in control. I gauged the efficiency. If I was doing something wrong, it suffered. That's what I really liked about it.
Actually, dude, now that you mention it, the way you said that makes a lot of sense to me now, because like you're saying, it doesn't feel as grindy, even if it was the same grind. If somebody put in the same grind, what you got, and like the reason why you're doing it in Legion was for like your characters at this level, and what you're trying to get is just a massive increase over where you are. So you're like grinding forever to get this huge increase, and you feel worthless without it. But with BFA, it was like your character's at a certain level, and you're grinding for just these little incremental these little incremental changes that like you're not, your character's like okay how it is, but like you gotta, I mean, unless you're coming back to the game late and then
bro like you're like people are still doing world quest like up until Nyalotha. You stopped doing Maw Souls at Crosis. You were done. Like you were done with the whole Maw Souls farm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the grind is never ending, bro.
I mean, you need those echoes so you can buy the corruptions, man.
Oh my, dude, I'm so glad. So that's what I'm saying.
So listen, the grind is so fucking crazy.
The world quest right now is 3 world quests a day, man. Come on, sometimes 4.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm so glad I got out of the rat race, dude. As soon as they said, "Here's a corruption vendor and here's what you do to get," I was like, "No, you can't trick me, dude. No, been there, done that." Corruption, yeah, it would be nice to have everything I need, but no, can't trick me again. Catch me going doing world quest. No, I'm done.
Wait, dude, have you stepped into an island since you've been done?
Dude, I didn't step into an island since before I was done, bro.
Yeah, I haven't done islands in probably 2 raids. Like even when
I would love to see the statistics on that. Like, how many people are doing islands in Warfronts right now? That's what I want to know. Probably fucking 0. There might be 10 people.
There should be better ways to catch up, just so when new people come back or when you make a new alt, and they should be in pretty early. Like they took a long time to implement these corruption vendors and other things to catch up.
Oh yeah,
it's bad.
And for sure, it's like there has to be something said when the casual of the casuals won't do the content to get rare like mounts and shit. They're just like, nah, I'm just gonna I'll skip these ones for later, Like they're not even the casual people who do any content for mounts in transmog they're just not doing islands. Like because islands is just so not fun.
We have a few people in my guild and Fuse that have done those for the mounts and everything.
Dude, this is just making me think like the fact that I feel like, I mean, it's pretty non-controversial to say that like islands and Warfronts and almost everything else in BFA was like a bit of a whiff, a swing and a miss, so to speak. Especially, I mean, islands and Warfronts. But thinking about like Shadowlands, right? Going into this expansion, it's like, all right, BFA, the defining features of BFA were islands, Warfronts, and Azerite armor.
Azerite gear, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, those all failed miserably in certain ways. Maybe there were some positive aspects, but
in more ways than one in most of them.
Yeah, and now, I mean, maybe this is I'm getting my hopes up a little too high, maybe, but going into Shadowlands, it's like, hey, we heard you didn't like islands, they're gone. Hey, we heard you didn't like Warfronts, they're gone. Hey, we heard you didn't like Azerite armor, they're gone. Hey, have you guys heard of Torghast? It's this it's this brand, like this dude. I'm basically trying to segue into talking about Torghast because I always want to talk about Torghast. Yo, talk about a defining feature of an expansion, bro. That place is crazy, man. Like I would keep coming back to it and like I don't know, maybe
have you seen much of Torghast, Recruitie?
Yeah, but again, I haven't played it, so I haven't like paid attention to all the specifics.
Yeah.
Are you into any like Diablo type games, Path of Exile, anything?
Yeah, I play a lot of roguelikes too, and I'm excited for it to be like a roguelike game in WoW.
It's so fun. It is so like I can't even express it enough, dude. Like you start off, as soon as you start off, it's fun, and then it gets more fun, and then more fun, and by the time when you're done, you're pissed that you're done. Like it's the total opposite of a Warfront where you're just like, thank fucking God it's over. Like this is like, I can't believe it's over. I'm actually pissed that I'm done right now. And then it makes you want to go on other classes just to see their broken abilities or other specs in your same class that you're using.
True.
It's fucking, I can't even express how fun it is.
I think for most people, it's probably going to be the way you're describing it. But I'm worried as like a, semi-hardcore, even like hardcore raiders, the way they're going to see it is, as far as I understand, there's one version of it where you get no rewards, and then there's another version of it where you get the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're kind of.
So the way I'm worried is you're going to be forced as a semi-hardcore, hardcore raider to do this one version that gives you the rewards, and then you're just going to stop doing it completely once you get the rewards.
Oh, okay,
and it's something where you go do something else so that you can further progress your character, and you don't touch this anymore until they upgrade it or update it.
Because me and Zax have been talking about for years now that caps are the best thing to World of Warcraft to stop people from just continuously grinding all day every day. We both agree on this. Some people don't agree with us that we've talked about it with, but like having a cap is good. So what they did in Torghast is they made it there's a cap, right? There's like basically how much you can do to get the thing that you wanted, and people were pissed because they wanted to keep doing Torghast. Now that is so much better than the opposite of you're forced to do it even when you don't want to do it. Like that to me is like I feel like this is it's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. You could be right where people just go in, they get the shit they need, and since there's no big rewards, just like cosmetic shit or just just fun shit, that they might actually not want to do it. But I really do feel like the way that they responded is, oh, we're gonna let you keep doing this then if you guys like to do this shit, have at it. And I think that's a way better response than we've ever seen in for any content. Like I just think that way is better than the alternative, which is you're forced to do this even if you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I definitely agree that caps are usually a good thing, but I still don't I don't think it's the best. Like this current system doesn't feel like it's the best it could be, and I don't really know how they make it better, because you have one option of removing all rewards from the content, in terms of like rating and stuff, making your character better, and they could put cosmetic rewards or a bunch of other stuff, but it's kind of the same thing. You get all the cosmetics and then you don't do it anymore. So I really don't know how.
For you?
Yeah, I mean I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet. So that's what I'm saying.
Because the things that it's getting compared to are like the Mage Tower and Visions. Maybe there's another thing, but like it's that people are kind of trying to compare it to those things. I don't remember, did you do a lot of Mage Tower stuff in Legion?
Yeah,
do you like that whole system?
Every class I cared about, yeah.
Oh damn.
Every spec.
So that was like a big positive thing, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Like a lot of it was easy. Boomkin, I literally fucking one shot or two shot it. Bear, it took me so long to do the bear one. Like that, it was fun because that was hard.
Yeah.
But BM Hunter was easy. Like all the Hunter specs.
Bear was easy.
Mage was pretty easy. Like a lot of them were pretty easy, but the tank one was rough.
Gotcha. Because so people are comparing it to the Mage Tower, and then they're comparing it to Visions. And I think I remember you doing Visions a lot. You like that kind of style, right? Like the ramping challenge type thing.
I like Visions. I don't like the reward system in Visions. It's similar to what we're talking about with Torghast's reward system. It's kind of like, and Vision is probably the worst case of it. Well, just the fact that they want to give you rewards, right? In the Vision to incentivize you to do it, so they have to cap playing Visions so that you don't get too much rewards to like stop you from getting too much power.
Yeah.
And that takes away from the Vision experience because you're putting a cap on it, which is similar to what I'm talking about with Torghast, where you're taking away from the Torghast experience by putting legendaries tied to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's hard to balance that though, because then you would either have to make the items that you want like so hard to get that it still gives people who are really good a challenge. But then what about the people? What about the people who don't play it as often or whatever? Then they're gonna get less. So that's a tough line to walk. And I don't have a solution for that either. But I think what they're doing is good.
Yeah, I feel like this is because they couldn't really do this type of thing with the other, if you want to compare them directly, like they couldn't really do this whole, there's just different versions. Like they could, but they didn't. It's like you go into Torghast, you got this is where you get your legendary dust. Go in here. I don't know, then they'll figure out how to do all that. It's a certain thing that you have to do once a week or once every 3.5 days or however they want to do it. you have to complete this to get your dust. Maybe the higher you go, maybe you're incentivized to go higher to get a slightly more dust. You know, they could do something like that, like with pushing Mythic Plus keys. It's like the higher floors you get to, you get a little bit more legendary stuff. But then you only have to do that once, and you kind of have like you have kind of unlimited attempts. It's like limited, but not by a lot. And then you have the total other version, which is just like goes on forever. It's just cosmetics or nothing. It's just do it for fun because it's actually fun to be in there. Like if you have those two different versions, I feel like you might be able to satisfy both things. Like you have to go in there and you'll actually enjoy it when you do go in there. And then if you like it enough, hey, there's this other version where you can go forever. Dude, it's like that might be like a win-win. I don't know.
When we were talking about it and we were reading how you're supposed to get in, like I remember saying like, man, the thing that killed me with Visions is that I had to do a bunch of shit content I did not want to do the Visions, which I enjoy doing. And so like the fact that they're making it so that you have to do a little bit of content that maybe you don't want to do, maybe it's going to be great content, who knows? But let's just assume it's like, you know, underwhelming content that you have to do to get a certain type of currency to get into the Vision or sorry, get into Torghast. Like that's cool because there's a cap. It's like, all right, I just got to do this. Then there's the cap. And then I can just I could sit in Visions 20 hours a day if I want.
Oh, that'd be so good if they do that.
And yeah, and I think that would make me super excited because for one thing I was pissed about with the Mage Tower is that as soon as I beat it, I couldn't do it again. And that really bothered me because I was like, I finally fucking got it down. Now I want to see how like smooth I can get it and all this other, and it was just like, you can't do it anymore. It closed down and that shit bothered me a lot.
Yeah. And that's part of the adding a reward to it thing where they have to cap it. But the thing about doing old or other content rather to get the currency, I kind of like that because it makes the vision feel more fun. Because you have to do this shit content, so you know what shit content feels like, and then you're like, oh, thank God, I need to do the fun content.
It's like a contrast situation.
It's like, you need the bad.
I see what you're saying with that. They did that a little bit with the Mage Tower, but it wasn't as bad as Visions, right?
Well, eventually you start to see Visions as the bad because you're just doing Visions only, right? And then you're like, fuck, I'm so bored of this. This is stupid. But when you're actually doing bad content, worse content, it's really hard to see Visions as bad because they're just better than the other content.
Yeah.
That's a weird psychological little game we're playing here.
Dude, but Blizzard is playing games. Yeah, that's true. I'm hoping there's gonna be like a nice little balance of like, because I mean I can already see myself. I don't know. I can see myself getting tired of Torghast because it's procedurally generated and you get different builds when you do it again. That part's dope, right? It can kind of change up every time, but it doesn't change up that much. You know, you're still playing WoW. You still have the same anima powers that you can get. It's not just going to be a random one that comes out of nowhere that you've never seen before, probably. So it's like, it's random, but it's not too random. So you'll still kind of feel like you're doing the same thing. So you might get tired of it, but at the same time, it might be sick. They might just get the balancing and everything just right. So that like it actually gets like challenging the more challenging, the higher you go up. That'd be so cool.
And in next content patch or whatever, they can put out something different, completely different.
Shake it up,
you know, and they don't have to give a shit. It's just like let's test out. We're gonna put like everyone gets a mech. We're gonna test out and see how mechs work out. I don't know why that came to mind, but like you know, everyone goes in Torghast and you get the option to jump in one of 4 mechs and just go around like a fucking mech warrior. Like that could be awesome.
An animech.
I think the biggest thing when I play a lot of roguelikes, what you have to do with things like this is you have to add enough builds so that there's actual variety in how you're playing in each Torghast.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know if that's
they have to have some way to get those builds, because if you're like, I want to try this build, and then you don't ever get that power, then that would kind of suck.
No, right? that's not a big thing. Like at least in roguelikes, that's the point, right? They're supposed to
make this what you got.
All these different options, like you get what you get, and that's it. And then this one run, you actually get the full build, and then you pop off. But again, I don't like having rewards tied to that kind of RNG. That's where all of this balancing becomes really wonky, because you can't make it to where people can't get this insane build ever, and then they just don't get the best rewards for it.
Yeah.
It's a really hard thing to balance when you have rewards outside of Torghast, and then the fun of Torghast is two different things.
Yeah. That's what makes me think that the required or whatever version where you get the legendary stuff that you have to do, that I feel like that part's going to be like on the much easier side. It's going to be like, it starts really easy, it gets to like maybe medium, and then it's over. It's like, okay, you did what you got to do, and then it's like, but if you like this, continue on in the other version.
Like that, right? Because they want everyone to be able to be at somewhat the same power level, so that has to be at a very early rate.
The rewards, like the reward system, how you're getting your legendary dust or whatever it is.
Not exactly. There's like a
they're in there
sort of. There's like a sort of version, how it works right now, but it's kind of hard to tell really what's going on because it's all like placeholder currency and items.
You get like, it's like basically like not yet implemented item 1. You don't really know what you do with it yet.
Yeah,
but it is like you described it, where you get to a random number, say 415, which is easily doable, and then you don't get a reward after that, or what?
Yeah, right now it's like I haven't been in there in a couple days, so they might have changed it. But it's like you go into like the legendary version, or if you want to call it that, or where you get legendary stuff. I think it goes up to like floor 18 because you have a boss every 6 floors. So if you beat the third boss, you've collected like a little bit of the legendary stuff along the way. But after the third boss, you get like the big dose of legendary stuff. It's like, hey, you did it. Good job. Here's your big legendary stuff. Get out of here. So there's kind of like a set thing. You get some along the way, and then you get a lot at the end. So like, I guess I can imagine like some people struggling. Like they beat the first boss, it's easy, and then they struggle really hard to get to the second boss, and then like they barely kill the second boss, and they get a bunch of legendary stuff from that, but they can't go any higher for some reason. I guess I can imagine that happening, but I feel like Blizzard like might they might aim to like avoid that.
Yeah, and I don't think that. I mean, I'm trying to think of like if my son, if Remy tries to like play Torghast, like he's still gonna get through, right? Because you can really just like crawl your way through to like a certain point, and maybe it takes him an extra day to get where you would get in one day or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I really don't see them making it too difficult to where you can't, crawl your way through. And then, after that, like, let's say it is 18, then when you get to floor 20 on the non legendary whatever, then it starts to become, all right, now this dude wants to really put in work, and then we're going to start putting multipliers and making sure it's really difficult, and then you start ramping it up at that point. And I think that wouldn't be too bad of a system.
Yeah, I'm thinking they have probably learned a lot from BFA and like all the things that this is getting compared to. Because we talk about it all the time. That seems like a trend for Shadowlands is that they're, first of all, they're actually listening. They're actually testing things early and listening to the feedback. But also it's like I don't know, for an example, like everybody's like, yo, tier sets were dope. We missed tier sets. It was sad to see them not be in BFA. Is there a chance that they could come back? And Ian and whoever's like, yeah, maybe. It's like they're like, probably not for the first raid, but yeah, maybe. It's like, oh, what do you mean? He didn't say no. What the? And it's like it's like that for a lot of things. Where it's like, hey, what if you guys had this legendary in the game? And they're like, yeah, we'll look into it. It's like, whoa, you're actually like, listen, and it's like, hey, Azerite armor didn't work out, we're scrapping it. Yeah, we don't like farming AP. All right, we're scrapping it. It's like, what?
We want to do more of Torghast. Okay, dude, we added another option.
The thing that I keep forgetting about, which I feel like might be the single craziest thing for the expansion, is there's no Titan forging and there's no replacement for Titan forging.
Oh yeah,
bro,
not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Well, they said there's not gonna be, but we know
Yeah.
We've heard that one before.
They've said a lot of things.
We're introducing an upgrade system where you get. It's like, okay.
Well, are you on the camp of for or against Titanforge, Recruitie?
I like Warforge. Titanforge can get excessive.
Like you talking slight bumps, 5, 10 max, or like 1 to 5
15,
max?
I think is a good number.
Okay.
But past 15 to me feels kind of chaotic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I even would have liked Titanforging if they allowed only Mythic to go past 15, like Mythic Raid.
Mm.
And
you know what I didn't
maybe
think
they
about?
cap the other thing.
Is the level squish, because 15 eye levels means more when you're at a lower level than 15.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I was wondering how that worked out.
It's linear, so yes and no.
Yeah.
So you'd get like 2 eye levels?
Well, no, I mean like 15 eye levels means the same amount of stat difference than it is now.
Oh,
like
right. Yeah, you're
increases,
right.
You know. It's
That's
like a linear growth.
That's something I think I don't remember who asked me this the other day, but that's something I think they're going to struggle with, like with this expansion in general. This is the first level squish. They've never done it before, you know? Like they've done item level squishes and stuff like that, but they haven't done a level squish before. So
ever. Yeah.
They might struggle a little bit to get the math down. At least for like I feel like they'll make it make sense after you get to level 60 and then the power creep kicks in, you know, and then like everything makes sense. But like up until level 60, like things might be kind of weird. You might be using like Legion stuff, you know, like Convergence of Fates trinket or something like that. It just like comes out of nowhere and it's like the thing to use.
Yeah, I have my void storage of trinkets ready.
Oh god. Oh boy.
There will be some oversight that they miss and it's going to work.
Yep.
Oh my god, you got Arcanite, or what is that? Arcanite stone, arcane crystal.
I have almost every decently looking trinket in my void storage.
Oh boy.
Full.
Oh no.
He's ready to break the game. Are you gonna tell people, or are you just gonna keep it to yourself until the?
I mean, I'll probably tell my guild and stuff. It's gonna get out either way.
That's so funny.
And I won't use like exploits to proc.
On this image real quick. Are you gonna be rocking this?
Bandana?
The bandana mohawk. Are you gonna chat it up?
I mean, I don't own any pandas. Is that for anything else?
Dude, that is a bro
panda?
No, I don't have a single panda.
That is the most bro panda in the world.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Dude, they are going to town with character customization, man.
Oh my god, the one you posted before, Zach, with the troll with the tree on his head.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Dude, they are going to town. Like, it's every day they release the craziest thing I've ever seen in the game.
Yeah.
This expansion is going to be crazy, man.
Lord. What race are you?
You're
not allowed to ask that these days, dude.
Druid.
Oh, I can't ask what race you are now?
No,
Damn.
it's not. You can't do that.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm making her twit longer right now as we speak.
Yeah. He's like, I prefer not to answer. Dude, I have a
Zandalari troll.
All right. They already look good, so they don't fucking get anything, okay?
Yeah, I just changed my sex on my troll the other day too, or like a month ago.
You went to the barbershop and got snipped?
All these changes are coming. I should have waited. Wasted my money because I'm probably gonna change again to do some other customization.
Yep. Dude, maybe that's their end game. Maybe that's why they're doing character customization, because they know.
Oh, shut up. You always got these little conspiracy theories. They're doing something good for us, and all these assholes just want money.
Yep. That's what it is for sure. They don't love the game. They love money.
Yeah. We're seeing people are buying character customization options. We're going to sell them in the shop.
Yeah.
You get the bro panda.
God, I could see
$20 plus in a 6-month whatever.
I have a bit of a grand prediction that I almost want to place bets on, but it's really subjective. I think Shadowlands is gonna be like Legion 2.0. I think it's gonna be, if you liked Legion, there were shitty parts of Legion obviously, but if you liked Legion, because Legion was pretty sick, you're like Shadowlands is just gonna improve on that. And Shadowlands is gonna be sick, bro.
Wait, are you saying that Shadowlands is the expansion that BFA should have been?
Yeah. It's like that.
I think what he's saying is that there's a Team 1 and a Team 2, and Team 1 made BFA.
True.
Yeah.
True. You're not wrong, dude.
Bro, and Team 1 made WoD? Oh my god.
And it's like
Team 2 made WoD. Team 1 made Legion. Team 2 then went back and made BFA, and Team 1's making
But it's like the raid development team is the same throughout the whole thing, so they're just always good, you know? But like the world stuff and all the weird signature stuff, they definitely got like a Team 1 and Team 2 for sure.
What was before WoD? MoP?
Yeah. And everybody I ask says MoP was sick.
And Kata was dog shit. What? I just
it's
learned
a weird
about
trend, bro.
Team 1 and 2, dude. Oh my god. Or maybe it's on purpose. Give them shit so they like it better the next time.
An abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love me more when I don't beat you if I beat you. It's fucking terrible.
God. Yeah, I got my hopes up a lot for Shadowlands, dude. I'm liking it.
Yeah. I can't wait for...
Okay, it's the sound. Let's see. What else we got? So we got some in other news, dude. Mixer died. You heard about Mixer dying?
I saw that. There was some girl on Twitter who was just crying her eyes out because she's banned off Twitch, and she said she has nowhere else to go. And it was really hard for me to have sympathy, because it's like, just go to Facebook, just go to YouTube. Why the hell are you crying on Twitter about Twitch unbanning you, and you don't even say why you were banned, and asking people to retweet this and begging for help? It's like, kind of feels weird, man.
It's like, wait, you literally do have somewhere else to go. Like, and I see it on my screen right there.
Other options.
Yeah, and it might actually be better than Twitch. But dude, that whole situation with Mixer, like dissolving and not telling anybody about it and saying, "Hey, we're turning off the servers, by the way.
Yeah,
go to Facebook. Good luck." It's like, whoa,
not a good look for any Microsoft shit going forward.
You could see it real bad. Man. If anyone has to pay millions of dollars to get streamers on their platform, they're on a downward spiral.
Yeah, but they could at least been like, you know what? Over the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to be phasing out Mixer. But it's like, they're just like, nope. Yesterday, we decided to shut it off. That's why you can't log on. It's like, what? It's like, fucking, okay.
We've been getting questions about people not being able to log on. Yeah, that's because we don't exist anymore.
It's because we sold you guys to Facebook.
By the way, this is the intern. I'm cleaning out my desk right now. Yeah.
Luckily for them, all this Twitter drama just came out of nowhere to disguise them. So
yeah, a little bit. Like, honestly, yeah. Like, that was big news. Mixer died, and now Method died.
Yeah.
That's some funky news, bro. These are some crazy times. Some crazy times, dude. Kind of want this Raid Check Pull stuff, this podcast, and like kind of everything we make to be like a little safe haven sort of thing from like just crazy drama out in the world. But hey, like that's big news, and it's wow news. So you know, of course we're sad to hear, like all the crazy stuff we're hearing, people coming out of the woodworks, man. That shit sucks to hear. And I don't know, it's rough, and everything's happened so fast, and everything's so soon. I don't even can't even wrap my head around it.
You get one story, and then it's like, oh, now like it's like kind of like now I feel comfortable putting out my story because she didn't get like whatever, and then there's another one, and then it's like, yeah, I also agree. This happened to me as well. Yeah. Oh, and this happened to me too. It's like, oh no, and then you get people in the organizations that are just like, all right, I quit. It's like, this just happened yesterday. And it's like, I quit. And then, you know, wives and girlfriends of the people who own the organization are just like, yeah, I also quit. What?
Yeah,
dude, that is not a sinking. There's no leak in that ship, dude. That ship got blown up.
yeah.
Like they just took a rocket to the face.
It reminds me of the fucking Spider-Man movie where he's like sitting there with the ship cut in half and he's trying to hold it together with all the web. You just have Sko sitting there in the middle holding the ship together. He's like, come on.
Dude, he needs Iron Man bad right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Mary Jane is just like, no, I'm leaving too. And he's like, fuck.
Yeah. I'm trying my hardest. Dude, and the fact that 3 days ago, whatever it was now, on the 23rd, before everything kind of came out, dude, like Method and the WoW community, as a whole, is just this shining beacon of like gaming is great, everything's fine here. We love everybody. And then the next day, dude, it gets exposed. The nasty,
what's crazy
stinky
is the order.
Gamer.
Like it was like Method was super awesome. The biggest drama is like, ooh, did they steal tanks from the US Guild, or did the tanks go on their own, or did they pay them? Ooh, that's real weird. Is that good business or not? And then it's like, oh well, Swifty gets in trouble for having, and then it's like, oh well, then Sasha gets in, and then Josh,
everybody,
no, Josh, what did you do? It's like
the Swifty stuff puts a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know. The fact
Swifty
that
stuff does.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, well,
wait, are you saying like you're a sour taste because it's overreacting, or because it's
I don't know the truth, first off. So, and the thing that puts a sour taste in my mouth is how Blizzard just instantly removed his NPC from WoW and just pretty much dropped him as a person the second before he even got to respond or anything, which just like implies guilt instantly. And that puts a perception out to the community that Swifty is guilty right away, without even hearing a single word from him.
Yeah, he might
and
be.
And then they can't add him back. They can't just add him back to the game because then they're saying Swifty's innocent. So they've put themselves in this predicament where they've labeled him guilty and can't do
Blizzard's
anything
MO,
to change
though.
it.
They do everything too fucking fast when it comes to social shit. They did it to Blitzcraig. Or Blitzchang, Blitz guy, they did it to that dude, and they're just like so afraid that they're gonna get negative press from something. So we got to be on the right side. And it's like, well, right now it's like seems like you didn't even read the message from the person who was making the complaint. It's like, I mean, because I don't know. Personally, that complaint was bad experience for her, bad experience for her friend. But it seems like it's a bad experience, not something to lose your job over, or like it's not a legal bad experience where it's an actual crime. It's more like a like I had a bad day type deal. It's nothing like obviously like the Josh Priest stuff or we're hearing more stuff coming out about like Final Boss and stuff like it. Like I think Swifty is gonna get lumped in with all of that, which is kind of fucked. I think Swifty looks like a creep, but he's not. Like, it doesn't seem like he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels like a slightly different situation going on where it's like, hey, I'm putting this information out because I want, other people to know that, like, he did some weird stuff. And then, Josh Brees' kind of situation is like, hey, this guy's doing illegal stuff, though. This is different. Yeah, and he's not weird. He's illegal.
That those two girls, they didn't put out anything after the Josh Priest stuff. They did it before, so it wasn't like they were doing to try to pile on and make Swifty look bad or whatever. They were like actually just saying like, this is what happened to me, and it was a bad experience, and I just wanted to let everyone know. And then Swifty came out with his apology, I think yesterday night or today morning, whatever. I read it this morning, and it's kind of like that just. That fucking blows. It's like, kind of like the Chris Hardwick coming out at the same time with like Weinstein and Jello Man, like Bill Cosby. So it's like it's like you get lumped in with those, and it's like no, that's totally not the same. That's not the same thing, and it sucks for him. Hopefully he hopefully the community understands that, but it seems like they might not when the title is famous WoW world first player does such and such that's illegal. Also, these people were, did some bad stuff too, and then they start rambling off like Swifty and whoever did bad whatever. It's like, no, don't put them in the same article. That's not the same. That's what sucks.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the truth comes out in due time, and everybody, nobody gets screwed over either way, one way or another. Hope it all kind of works out, and I don't know, hope for the best, I guess. It's hard to really know what's going on.
Is it a WoW community thing, a gaming community thing, or just life that some people feel like they can't speak out because they're going to get shunned? Like, because that seems like that might seem like a more of a gaming thing than not. Like that, like everyone that comes out is usually like, like I would have come out earlier, but I felt like they had power or clout and no one was going to listen to me. I would be, shot down or whatever. Like, or when I did come out to someone who I thought was a leadership figure, they would say, well, can't do nothing about it. So it's like, I think that's a thing. Like there needs to be a way for people that do get, abused or become like whatever, I don't even really know how to ask that question, but it's just like there definitely has to be a way for people to feel safer in those type of situations. But when you have someone who's as predatory as Josh, it's like that becomes dangerous.
There needs to be like people need to figure out, I guess, a better way to prove that someone is guilty. Because I think the biggest complication here is that nobody wants to believe you because of the repercussions that happen to the person if they do believe you. And and it's a good thing. Like you don't want to just destroy somebody's life because of an accusation. There needs to be proof, like there does.
How much?
And nobody wants to, well, that's what I mean. We need to figure out a way to make it provable, easier. And maybe, I don't want to be graphic, but people who do get sexually molested or whatever, right? If they fought back, or maybe that'd be more proof because they'd have a bunch of bruises on their face, or they'd scratch up the accuser. That's just one random example, right?
Right.
But there needs to be like ways we can teach people, or ways that something we can do that will make it more provable and make it more obvious and less about, because then people who come out and just say things, right? It's just an accusation, right? And this person over here has proved it. This person over here has proved it.
Oh, I agree with you totally. I don't think that's what happened with the Josh Priest thing. I think there is a lot of information and there's
a lot of proof in his case. But
yeah, that one is
my point is people are less inclined right now to believe someone who makes an accusation because
yeah, it's true. Yep.
At least in like the method sphere, right? All the bosses and everybody in there, they're all friends. Like that's a community. They're not just business partners. It's a business, but it wasn't built like a business. It was built like a community. They were all friends. They all loved each other probably. They all hung out all the time, 24 hours a day. They're raiding world first races, and it just feels like nobody in that guild wants to believe Josh is back because they're his friend. They love him. That everybody believes him when he talks. So there needs to be a better way to prove that he is guilty, and that there's already been proof, but as an example, because they didn't believe it.
Yeah, dude, that's actually so true. It does seem like there's got to be some better way. And now I think about it, I mean, I think Jim, you asked me the other day or today, like, is the WoW community or just like the whole world in general, like, but is the WoW community gonna be better off as a result of how we deal with this situation? And now I'm thinking, like I was kind of lost as to like what to think. Like, oh, man, it sucks that like the community, it feels like the community is getting divided and broken up, and like, man, it's gonna suck. But now I think about it, like it's gonna be pretty like uncontroversial, I guess, to say, yo, obviously we're just not doing something right. We got to fix this. Like we got to deal with, we got to find a way to to deal with accusations better as a community for sure, and people are going to be aware of it and thinking about it and trying in their own life. I didn't think about this very much. I don't encounter this kind of thing in my day to day, but now if now it's on my mind. You know what I mean? It's something that I've thought about, and how I'm going to deal with it.
Being a guild leader, being a community leader, someone who makes content as well, like business you're starting a business type thing. You have to be kind of aware of these type of things. But Recruitie's right. Like, you have to have a way where you can privately show your side of it. And if there is enough evidence, have that evidence, come out, and then have files or charges be pressed, things like that. But you don't want to ruin people's life, because it does become real easy to be like, you know what? I don't like this guy. He was an asshole to me. I'm going to say some real bad shit about him. Now, that doesn't happen too often, but we can't let that happen, just out of blind faith. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough. It's like, I do think that every community becomes better when shit like this happens, because even if we do go overboard to where it becomes like, popular to accuse people, we'll eventually get back to a place to where it's not. And then it becomes, so it might be too far on one side right now. It might go too far on the other side, but we'll come back to the middle at some point, and then we move forward eventually, slowly, incrementally. But I think it's always better to have people not be afraid or like just feel like they're welcome to open things up. But it's really hard, because you get told something by someone, like being a leader or a person of I don't know, there's someone in a leadership role. Right. It's hard to kind of justify like all right, so you have someone telling you something, and then it's like, well, they don't have any proof or whatever. Like, you believe the person, you don't want to say that they're lying, but you also, like, you don't want to condemn someone because you don't know this person, but you know the person that they're accusing. So it's like, oh, I know him, and he doesn't seem like that, unless he does, and then, well, fucking, he did it, and then kick him out, whatever. But right. If he's like not that type of person, like, I don't see him being like that, and then but you don't want to dismiss this other person's accusation. It's like, what do you do in that? That's why I say Method was in a really tough situation. I think they fucking flopped on this one. I think right. There was a clear evidence on what happened. I'm talking just Josh Priest. I don't know too much about the Sasha stuff, but I think there's a clear flop, and it's a clear negligence on the fact that, like, they knew for a year, they had statements for a year. It's like, and then you continue to raid with them. It's like, come on.
They definitely took a chance. They didn't have to.
It's hard to have sympathy for people like this, but the thing is that they, like I was saying before, they love Josh. Like, whether they say it or not, they've raided with them for countless hours, countless months, countless years. Yep. It's so hard when your friend tells you, no, these are false accusations, the truth will come out, blah blah blah. It's so hard to believe these random people that are telling you something.
Right.
And you can't just take action against your friend like that off of accusations.
Oh yeah, it's an impossible situation. Yeah.
Like, there does need to be some sympathy, and people are saying that, they're protecting a rapist and a predator and all. Like, they didn't know if it was true or not. Like, if nobody actually sits here and thinks, I don't know, man. It's so unreasonable to me to think that people are intentionally being nefarious.
Oh, I agree with that. Like, yeah, because it goes against my nature too. Yeah, it goes against my nature as well to, like, assume the worst of people. But it just, like, it seems like from their statement that it's like, we knew that these accusations were out, and then the people who sent, like, the DMs and stuff, they're like, we sent these to Method as well, and, like, we sent these to people. And then it's like, then you look at all this evidence, and you're like, he also is being investigated. He got kicked off of Twitch, and then his lawyers tell him not to say anything because it could incriminate him more. You're just like, all right, I get that you might not have done something, but, like, this looks real fucking suspicious, and we might, like, I'm gonna go hang out, we'll go high five, like, whatever, until you're proven guilty, and then, I'll think about you however I think about you. But right now, you don't raid with the dude. Like, don't.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't name your pet Free Josh. Like, it's like shit like that is just like a little bit insensitive to the people who are making the accusation.
Yeah,
I mean,
rough.
sure, but there's a point where they don't care about the people who are making accusations, and they probably dislike them because they think they're lying and trying to hurt their friend.
Yeah, that's the wrong move. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. Like maybe on a business standpoint, yeah, absolutely, from a business perspective. But like I said, this was built as a non-business. Like all the people that are running that shit, they were friends before this was a business.
Yeah, and I feel it hard to believe that they didn't know as friends that they're most likely were signs earlier that shit like this had happened. Like, because I know I can think of people in my daily life that I've, on my 30 odd years of dealing with people, that it's like they accuse one person, I'd be like, no, that's fucking weird, that doesn't make any sense. But then there are some people where you're like, they accuse that type of person and you're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like, that seems like it could be something that that person would do in whatever situation. And there's no way that, like, people aren't that good at hiding that type of thing. So when you say like they're really good friends, yeah, they're probably really good friends. They probably love him. They probably know he was fucked up.
Yeah, I'm trying not to defend anyone here or anything, but I'm just trying to provide sympathy for these people, because
they're going to lose their livelihood for sure for that.
It's so easy to justify these things, and you don't say to a rapist or a rape victim that it was their fault that they got into the situation where the person justifies things repeatedly in their head while they're going through the situation. Like, oh, he was just joking. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the knife thing was just a joke. Oh, I should probably just get into bed with him. He's a nice guy. And then all of a sudden they get raped, right? And you don't say it, well, that's your fault. You didn't notice all these signs. They justified it in their head because they're being manipulated.
Yeah.
And that's a similar scenario to what these people in this guild are going through, is they've justified all these actions that Josh took because he was manipulating them.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's true.
If you go to these cases of like mass murderers, psychopaths, etc., a lot of their family members say they never saw it coming. They're like, oh, he's a little weird, but he looked like a nice guy. He seemed like a nice guy. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden he murders 15 people. It's like,
yeah. No, you're right. You're right about that. That you can't put the hammer down too much on the method organization. It's just I'm talking mainly legally, right? Like you don't want them to lose their jobs. You don't want them to lose like their sponsorships and their streaming and stuff like that. They did fuck up. They did botch this whole thing, I think. And it sucks because socially you are going to get looked at in a certain way. There's not a lot of people who are going to go and do the extra research to even hear their explanation of why it happened the way that it happened or why they answered the way that they answered. So it does suck. And I definitely have empathy for that. And they lost a lot of good people in their organization because of this. It's just, it's kind of just the culture that we live in right now, is that if you don't stand up for victims, then you end up, hurting yourself in the long run.
I much prefer the way Method initially did things with the first accusations, where they didn't just drop them immediately.
Last year?
Yeah, to the way Blizzard did it with Swifty, right? Like, that's the comparison.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
They should have waited until the case was handled by the police and everything, right? And then they should have done an internal investigation. I think Sko says that in his post too, actually, where after that they should have done their own investigation to look into it deeper. And then if they decided that he was at risk to the company, they should drop him, right?
Yep.
But obviously, since they're all friends, they all liked each other, they took a risk and believed Josh because they trusted him. And then this is what happens when you take the risk and you judge things without investigating them. And they actually are true.
Yeah, because they could have been vindicated, right? They could have been right, and Josh could have got off. They could have been that these people were lying and stuff. I think if it's one, maybe two people, but when it comes out multiple, is when you're just kind of like, all right, I gotta, it's like I was telling Zach, one Bill Cosby victim, you're like, oh, that person just wants fame, whatever. Second one, you're just like, all right, that person just wants to bite off of the fame that the first person's getting. The 13th person, you're like, okay, yeah, he deserves some craziness.
Yeah.
You know, some big punishment.
Yeah. Hopefully,
that's
I mean,
where it is.
I definitely think like, dude, I don't even know. Like, I think everybody involved is going to come out better for all of this, but where does Method and SCO and whoever stays with the company, like, what do they do now? You know,
what do they stay with the company?
Where do they go from here? Does Method really keep it moving and grooving, and they update their code of conduct, you know, and they make changes? Hopefully you don't hear my dogs barking. Or do they rebrand? Do they start over? Do they start, like, what do they do from here, man? Because I don't know if they can. I feel like that Method name just might be too tarnished.
I think they definitely can bring it back. It's all about SCO or whoever decides to take over, if they're willing to go through the grueling next few years of their life that's going to be rebuilding the Method name. But I think they definitely can do it. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, and maybe there's more.
If they have it in them to do it, I think they can.
Right. And maybe there's more like truth that comes out because it's still so fresh. Maybe there's more stuff that comes out that's like, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Like, you know, it makes more sense now. It's a little more I feel a little more sympathetic about it. Like, yeah, you know, okay, like Method's redeemable at least. You know, they're not the worst ever, and they kind of work their way back into good graces. But dude, right now it's looking a little hopeless from the outside. It's a little rough. And
yeah, and my prediction is SCO just gives up, to be honest. But he is the type of person to not give up, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no joke. Like, they didn't 4 days ago, they didn't get to that point, you know, with luck, you know, or with ease. So it took a lot to get there. I'm sure they're gonna work hard to fix everything they got going on now that they know it's a bigger problem than they thought. I mean, what is this gonna, like, what effect is it gonna have on, like, the WoW community as a whole with, like, the world first race? Method's been around forever. They've been number one, and they've been the biggest.
That's a really good question. Do you think they compete in the world first race? This
actually number 2 now.
True.
Like, so that's a good segue to the world first race, because we, you know, let's because we're gonna be ending this soon. Let's end it on a little bit of a lighter note, you know.
Yeah.
Going over to the world first race, we have Limit lost a lot of their good players over the last few over the last few tiers to Method. Now those players, I mean, if Method doesn't decide to do the world first race, which is a huge possibility, they literally just might say, like, we're taking this one out. Like, we're not even going to start up. Maybe we'll start up the next year or something. It's a pretty big possibility that they do something like that, or they completely rebrand, break up, whatever. Does that mean there's literally no competition for Limit at this point?
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, the other guilds could get some of the players too. Like, there's a few EU guilds that have been competing in the top 5, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't rate as much.
Maybe they will now, dude. Maybe they see the floor is open, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe
gone, like, there's a huge opening. Like, some of the investors could go reach out to these other guilds.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Resources, pieces, aversion, like shit like that. Honestly,
because it could be that you have, because the EU is such a huge market for WoW. Like, they have it's just the amount of people that play the game and are good at the game in that way. There's just way more in the EU, right? So if, I don't know, like Corsair, right? I guess they dropped Method sponsorship wise, and probably a few others. They're probably still looking to stay in the WoW scene. You know, it's profitable. So, and it's like, that's where they want to be. So maybe they do look for another EU guild, and maybe that's the thing that, you know, Version and Pieces and all those other guilds, maybe that's the little step they need to, like, really try, like, really go for, like, a world first racing. So in a really weird way, and kind of a very unfortunate way, this shakes things up a lot. to where
oh my god, yeah,
some people, Method and isn't the monopoly, like nobody can in the EU can rise above Method because they just soak up all the talent and stuff. It's like, okay, now the talent's getting broken up potentially, so it could spread out a little bit. And
not just the playing talent, like where does Scripe and Roger Brown go? Like that's the fucking question. Like, where do they go? What do they do?
The masterminds, yeah. Where do they end up?
Could just start another guild.
For real.
You think that's more of a possibility?
I don't see why not.
Equally possible.
Yeah.
I feel like wherever those guys go, they're going to be leading the show either way. So
yeah. But I'm excited to see that because I mean that like the narrative was already really really exciting, like world first wise going into
oh my god,
going into Shadowlands because
Limit ruins it a little bit, but yeah,
Limit won, and it's like, okay, now Method has to reclaim their crown. Now they have to reclaim everything. That's not just they lost everything, dude. They're reclaiming their life, dude. So
people were joking, Method loses one world first and they fall apart.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Limit's got to be feeling a little funky right now. They're just like, dang, you guys imploded a little bit or what? Like, it's just a game.
They're probably on edge.
Yeah,
they're like cleaning out their closet right now.
Yeah, they better, and that's another reason why the whole community might end up better because of this whole thing. Is like, hey, if you got anything to tell us, you tell us right now, or else it's gonna be real bad.
If you have any fucking demons, you let us know.
Yeah, because if maybe we can understand and work through it right now, but bro, if it comes out later, hey, it's not gonna go well. So hey, we're all the skeletons out the closet right now. We're dealing with this. So,
what if Max comes out with the 180 tweet, dude, and he's just like, yeah, that's why we got rid of Darky.
Okay.
So, oh my god.
Okay. That would be some talk about drama, dude. Jesus.
If he just wrote that, yeah, that's why we got rid of Darky. It's be like, oh no. Don't do it to him.
That'd be a whole other thing. I mean, I'm super excited for this world first race coming up in 7 months. Or however it's going to be. I gotta say,
I was more excited when Method was coming up on the heels, because it was like I wanted to see like a Method with a fire under their ass, like trying to come back and reclaim. Like I really wanted to see that. I hope I still get to see that. I hope they don't lose too many of the star players throughout this. But it doesn't seem likely. But I was really excited for that. Like that was going to be a kick-ass world first.
They've already lost a lot of the star players, honestly.
I know.
True. And with
even Gingy decided to dip.
Oh really?
I didn't hear that. Damn.
There it is. But with
breaking news.
Yeah, for real. With Shadowlands shaping up, as far as I can tell, to just be a crazy good expansion. That's just gonna make the world first. It's bigger than it's ever been. It's still growing. Maybe we'll have more guilds going for it this go around. It seems like that's inevitable. So this race might be better than any other race we've seen. It's about to pop off in I don't know, January or whenever it's bound to happen. Might have some crazy events. I'm excited. I guess we're still not getting a worldwide release thing. Sounds like that's never happening, but
I don't think it can. Is what they said.
Yeah, it's just not feasible for whatever reason. But dude, I'm
hell of a podcast, dude. Hell of a fucking podcast right now.
We brought it all the way around, bro.
All the way the fuck around, dude. I gotta say, dude, Recruitie, it was super fun to talk to you.
Yeah, I had fun here.
Yeah, man, you managed to tiptoe around this super complicated topic with us, dude. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. Everyone, clap it up. Yep. But hey, is there anywhere that they could find you? Twitter, Twitch, anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Recruitie. Same way it's spelt and everything. My name is pretty much Recruitie everywhere. I'm the only Recruitie that exists. Literally.
Yeah, all right.
We'll link to everything you got. Are you so fused going ham for Shadowlands? Yeah, same schedule, same everything.
We're just being steady. We're just on the come up. We were struggling last expansion, and we slowly are just making our way back up. The slow and steady wins the race. That's the plan.
You feel good about it?
So far, yeah. We've recently made some officer changes that we're pretty happy with, and hopefully in Shadowlands it shows.
That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna be watching. Well, I'm gonna be rating.
Yeah, same.
But I'm also gonna
I'll be watching. I'll be rating, but I don't rate as much as you guys, so I'll be watching. I'm a 3-day a week kind of guy, you know.
But
I don't think I can rate 3 days a week during prog, man. It's just too little.
Yeah, you always want to just get back in there immediately. I feel that for sure.
I go hard though, all right? I go hard.
Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I mean, as usual, we do this do a podcast every Friday at 3 Eastern. That's our goal. We're doing it no matter what. Catch it on Twitch, catch it on YouTube. We'll have links to everything in the description, everything, and then we
post it on Saturday.
Yeah, we post it on everywhere. If you ever heard of Everywhere platform? Yeah, it's everywhere on Saturday, so you can listen to it wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We're gonna have guests like Recruitie, and let us know who you want to see on here and what you guys want us to talk about, all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks again, Recruitie, for coming on, dude.
Yep, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys